what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy the
media days and kind of what's going to be kind of the main question, maybe the main theme for LSU football, because every time you go, certainly in a program like LSU to media days, there's always something. There's always something that, it's kind of the theme of the media days, and you ask every LSU person that comes there with LSU, every LSU guest that comes on, kind of the same question, but I don't know what that's going to be. But he mentioned Jaden Daniels was probably going to be there, and he should. So I don't really care what the question is. I want to see alpha energy from LSU when they show up. And Brian Kelly has that. When you see out in the media, like people talking about the schedule and that's not fair and we don't want to play them, Brian Kelly the entire time wants to play the best. Like that's why he's at LSU. He said it from the first day that he got here. I just saw Brian Kelly and Destin at the SEC spring meetings. He had that energy to him. Like he doesn't really care how the schedule's formatted. He doesn't really care who's on the schedule. It's like I'm at LSU. Like I expect it to be very difficult. We're going to go out there and play those games when other coaches are out there complaining. And this on and off the record. He doesn't have that. He has that energy like, hey, we might as well take all the smoke, right? Because we're LSU. We know who we are. I want to see that from LSU in media days. I want to see them go to Nashville. I want to see Jaden Daniels be out in front, being the team leader, being the quarterback. And I want to see them answer the questions maybe, hey, you might be the favorite here from the media. Is that going to, maybe upset Alabama, bulletin board material? And I want to see them say, I don't really care about Alabama. I care about LSU because I know how good we are. I know how good we can be. We won the West last year. Alabama didn't win the West. Yeah, we got to go to Tuscaloosa, but I don't really care about that. And it doesn't have to be in a cocky way. It doesn't have to be arrogant, but I want to see it be alpha, right? Kind of I'm growing, you're not type mentality. That's what I want to see from LSU in media days. That's what I'm going to be paying attention to. Because like when you have what has been a standard for Alabama, you have to remember under Alabama, LSU's won the second most national titles in the last 2 decades. Like you might not be that as far as titles, but you've been damn good and you set your own standard. And you set a different standard last year when you beat Alabama. You go to the game. Now, it didn't work out your way. You lost to Georgia. You had moments in that game. Build off those moments, but build off that energy. Go to Nashville. Know from the second that you get there, LSU's ready. And LSU's not going to shy away from, oh, man, they're going to be able to put that up in the locker room. LSU was picked to finish first in the West and not Alabama. You should. You won it last year. You're going to be better this year. You got year 2, Jaden Daniels, year 2 for the entire coaching staff. What you've done in the transfer portal. You have your entire offensive line basically coming back. You have every running back coming back. You also added running backs from Notre Dame, their leading rusher. You have the receivers coming back. You might have the best receiving core in the country, right? It's Ohio State and then probably you, but you're in that conversation. You know what you got coming back defensively. You've got Mason Smith coming back from injury. Walk into that building with your chest out, knowing that, hey, we won the West and we're here to do it again. This is the new standard for LSU football. There's been a standard set before us, but we're setting a new standard. That's what I want to see in Nashville. And fellas, I don't know if they get that. This team tells me that they're going to show that. But that's what I want to see from them in Nashville.
I'm with that, and I'm with what you said about Brian Kelly. Like some of the stuff that's been coming out of Nick Saban's mouth is really, really surprising to me, given that he's Nick Saban. But I love the mentality of Brian Kelly, and hopefully that's reflected among the players at media day.
No, I'm with you because look, you mentioned Jaden Daniels, and a lot of people were like, oh, he'd have a good game, bad game. He's going to improve this year, obviously. But go look at not just the West, the SEC as a whole. Like LSU probably has the best quarterback situation with the combination of Daniels and Nussmeier behind him in the entire conference. I mean, I don't know how this team's not going to show up with a ton of confidence, not going to show up like we're the team to beat because they really are the team to beat. I mean, nobody else in the West, quarterback-wise, even comes close, at least not at an experience.
No, and I am with you. And that's not to say it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Hell, it's going to be hard from the first game. Bad word, Jackson. Don't say that. It's going to be hard from the very first game. You got Florida State. They're a real contender. They beat you last year. Now, the game was quirky, and we know how it ended, but they got everybody coming back. They've done well in the transfer portal. They've got Jordan Travis, who's a really good quarterback in that game. But you have all offseason to get ready for that game, to use that game as motivation. Now, I haven't been around the team as much as I used to, but I've been around, and I get that sense that that's the kind of energy that they have, right? You've got the quarterback, to Taylor's point. Who are you going to go with? You're going to go with Jaden Daniels or Tyler Buckner? You're going to go with Jaden Daniels. Even Ole Miss, who has 3 good quarterbacks. You're going to go with Jackson Dart. You're going to go with Jaden Daniels. You're going to go with Jaden Daniels, right? So some of these matchups that we look at, certainly in the West, you're going to favor LSU in those moments. And you have to expect Jaden Daniels to take that step. Like, he was really good at times last year. I mean, there was a 3-week stretch where he might have been the best quarterback in the country during that stretch. Ole Miss and Florida and Alabama, right? If you get rid of the Jaden Daniels and Texas A&M and Arkansas, and you're just a good quarterback, you don't even have to be that quarterback you were during that 3-week stretch. You're talking about a completely different team, right? There's no Kayshawn on this team either, which I think is good. And that's not throwing a shot at Kayshawn. That is just, there's not going to be, hey, we got to get this guy involved. We got to get him the ball. You're going to get the ball to the guy who's open. You're going to get the ball to who needs to get the ball because you read the coverage, and that's the player that is open. I think that's going to be good for the growth of Jaden Daniels, right? Last year, and I get it, like, you had this All-American player. He's coming back from injury, and you're trying to get him involved. I get it. You don't have that situation this year, and you've got really good receivers and neighbors, and we know the list, right? You have Brian Thomas, and we've seen what they've done in the spring game. Kyron Lacey. Like, you've got Jimmys and Joes, right? So that's what I want to see. I want to see LSU from the get-go, from SEC Media Days, which is kind of the beginning of the football season, to walk into that building, know exactly who they are, let everyone know that they fully expect to be there in the end, because that is the type of energy that you can use in the offseason when you're getting ready for that first game against Florida State. I don't want to hear, well, there's some really good teams. We hope we can do this. No, you can do this. Your head coach has that energy. I think the players being around them have that energy. Now I want to show the rest of the people covering the SEC that you have that energy there in Nashville, and we'll see if they can get that done.
Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.